All he had to do was stand inside this square until 5:30, and the man would give this recent college graduate $50. The graduate thought he was joking, but the boss simply turned and walked away. The graduate quickly stopped him. If he could really get $50, he was willing to stand until 5:30. Then he stepped into the square. Seeing this, the boss smiled with satisfaction, said he'd be back exactly at 5:30, and left, based on nothing but a promise. The graduate stood in that square all afternoon. At 5:30 sharp, the boss returned with $50. The graduate was thrilled. He never knew making money could be so easy. Next, the boss offered him a full-time position, raising the pay from $50 to $200. All he still had to do was stand in the square. The next day at work, a friend with a skateboard invited him to a party. The graduate wanted to go, but in the end, he refused because of his job. In the days that followed, the graduate stood there from morning till night. Bored, he could only watch the time pass on his wristwatch. One day, a disabled woman had her purse snatched. She begged him to help chase the thief, but his job didn't allow him to leave the square. He could only watch the robber run away. Payday came, and the graduate hesitantly mentioned wanting to quit, but a simple question from the boss made him back down. And so, day after day, the young graduate became a middle-aged man, watching teenagers skateboard in the street. He couldn't help but think of his former self. But now, the square had worn down all his edges. When the boss came to hand him his salary, he wasn't too excited like before, so the boss offered him a 30% raise, a larger workspace, and a much better view, which briefly reignited his passion for the job. Time rushed by. The once young graduate's face was now lined with wrinkles, his hair had turned gray, and his salary had grown to $2,000. But this time, he finally made up his mind to resign. The old man began to wonder, what is the point of living? He walked up to a girl, traded his luxury watch for a skateboard, but the moment he stepped onto it, he fell to the ground. He was no longer that spirited young man. Now, he could only hold onto the railing and skate slowly and unsteadily.